Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Nipunika Shahid with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stresses on need to review plans for easing of international travel restrictions amid emergence of new COVID variant Omicron. Takes stock of coronavirus situation and vaccination progress in the country. People need to be more cautious and take proper precautions like masking and social distancing, advises Prime Minister. World Health Organization appeals to countries in Southeast Asia region to step up surveillance and enhance vaccination coverage as new variant surfaces. Over 121 crore doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Winter session of Parliament to begin from Monday. Bill to repeal 3 farm laws to be tabled in Parliament on first day. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar appeals to farmers to end agitation. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind calls upon judges to exercise utmost discretion in courtroom remarks. In cricket, ICC Women's World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe called off due to concerns of a new COVID variant. And in Kanpur Test, New Zealand bowled out for 296 runs in first innings on day 3, giving India a 49-run lead. As India created history by administering over 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed on the need to review plans for easing of international travel restrictions amid emergence of new COVID variant Omicron. The Prime Minister chaired a meeting to review the public health preparedness and vaccination-related situation for COVID-19 in New Delhi today. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba, Principal Secretary to Prime Minister V.K. Mishra, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan and Niti Aayog Member Health Dr. V.K. Paul were among the attendees. During the meeting, the Prime Minister was briefed about the global trends on COVID-19 infections and cases. He also reviewed the national situation relating to COVID-19 cases and test positivity rates. Mr. Modi was apprised of the progress in vaccination and the efforts being made under the Har Ghar Dastak campaign. He directed that there is a need to increase the second dose coverage and that states need to be sensitized on the need to ensure that all those who have got the first dose are given the second dose timely. Officials briefed the Prime Minister about the new variant of concern Omicron along with its characteristics and the impact seen in various countries. Its implications for India were also discussed. Mr. Modi spoke about the need to be proactive in the light of the new variant. He said that in view of the new threat, people need to be more cautious and the need to take proper precautions like masking and social distancing. He highlighted the need for monitoring all international arrivals, their testing as per guidelines with a specific focus on countries identified at risk. He also asked officials to review plans for easing of international travel restrictions in the light of the emerging new evidence. Mr. Modi was given an overview of the sequencing efforts in the country and the variants circulating in the country. Mr. Modi instructed officials to coordinate with states to ensure that there is adequate buffer stocks of various medicines.
The World Health Organization today asked countries in the Southeast Asia region to scale up surveillance, strengthen public health and social measures and enhance vaccination coverage to contain the new COVID variant Omicron. The global health body said festivities and celebrations must include all precautionary measures and crowds and large gatherings must be avoided. WHO's Regional Director of Southeast Asia region, Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh said at no cost countries should let their guards down. In a statement, she said, though COVID-19 cases have been declining in most countries in the region, the surge in cases elsewhere in the world and confirmation of a new variant of concern is a reminder of the persisting risk and the need to put the best to protect against the virus and prevent its spread. More than 121 crore 6 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said that a total of 8,318 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 98.34%, the highest since March last year. A total of 10,967 people recovered in the last 24 hours. In light of the improved COVID-19 situation, the Maharashtra government today announced to reopen economic, social, entertainment and cultural activities with fewer restrictions, especially for fully vaccinated people. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
The latest order of the Maharashtra government has made full vaccination against COVID-19 mandatory for people using public transport and in public places including government offices, shops, malls, etc. Maintaining COVID-appropriate behavior in taxis, private cars has also been made compulsory. A penalty of ₹500 would be imposed on those who violate the norms and also on the conductor or driver. Vehicle owners to be charged ₹10,000 if a passenger is found violating norms inside their vehicle. Maximum attendance at weddings in open places, lawns, ground capped at 25% of the venue's capacity, and in closed spaces it is limited at 50% of the capacity. Nivedita, AIR News, Mumbai.
The winter session of Parliament is scheduled to begin from Monday. The session will conclude on the 23rd of December. Ahead of the winter session, the government has convened an all-party meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. The meeting has been convened by Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi in New Delhi. During the meeting, the centre will seek support of political parties to ensure smooth functioning of both houses of Parliament. In the evening, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has also called a meeting of floor leaders of different political parties at his residence in New Delhi. During the meeting, Mr. Naidu will discuss ways to ensure smooth functioning of the upper house during the session. Farm Laws Repeal Bill 2021 has been listed for introduction and passing in the Lok Sabha on the first day of the winter session. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced that the government has decided to repeal all three farm laws. The bill will repeal the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020, the Farmers Produce, Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020, the Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020, and amend the Essential Commodities Act 1955. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has appealed to the farmers' unions to end their agitation as there is no point in continuing their protest after announcement of repealing the three farm laws by the central government. Talking to a news agency, Mr. Tomar said that the farmers should respect the announcement made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi with regard to the farm laws and return to their homes. The Agriculture Minister further added that the Prime Minister has announced to constitute a committee to deliberate on the issues of crop diversification, zero-budget farming and making minimum support price system more transparent and effective. Mr. Tomar said this committee will also have representatives from farmers' organizations.
संसद प्रारंभ के दिन तीनों कृषि कानून संसद में रिपील करने के लिए प्रस्तुत किए जाएंगे। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जीरो बजट खेती, क्रॉप डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, एमएसपी को और प्रभावी, पारदर्शी बनाने जैसे विषयों पर विचार करने के लिए एक समिति बनाने की घोषणा की है। इस समिति में आंदोलनरत किसानों के प्रतिनिधि भी रहेंगे।
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stresses on need to review plans for easing of international travel restrictions amid emergence of new COVID variant Omicron, take stock of coronavirus situation and vaccination progress in the country. People need to be more cautious and take proper precautions like masking and social distancing, advises Prime Minister. World Health Organization appeals to countries in Southeast Asia region to step up surveillance and enhance vaccination coverage as new variant surfaces. Over 121 crore doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Winter session of Parliament to begin from Monday. Bill to repeal 3 farm laws to be tabled in Parliament on first day. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar appeals to farmers to end agitation. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind calls upon judges to exercise utmost discretion in courtroom remarks. In cricket, ICC Women's World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe called off due to concerns over new COVID variant. And in Kanpur Test, New Zealand bowled out for 296 runs in first innings on day 3, giving India a 49-run lead. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 83rd episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 p.m. President Ramnath Kovind today said that it is incumbent on the judges to exercise utmost discretion in their utterances in courtrooms. He said that indiscreet remarks, even if made with good intention, give space for dubious interpretations to run down the judiciary. The President was addressing the valedictory function of the Constitution Day celebrations organized by the Supreme Court of India. President Kovind said justice gets further strengthened if the 3 institutions of the state, namely judiciary, legislature and executive, are in harmonious existence.
As we are celebrating the 75th year of independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, such deliberations on holding fast to constitutional norms and values are an ongoing project. The Constitution is the roadmap of our collective journey. At the core of it are justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Justice is the critical fulcrum around which democracy revolves. It is indeed a credible achievement that people repose faith in the judiciary. And the Indian judiciary must be complimented for this well-earned achievement.
Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said the National Education Policy 2020 made under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given the country a scope to internationalize its universities. The minister was speaking at the 79th Foundation Day event of Utkal University in Bhubaneswar. Our correspondent reports on the occasion the Union Minister also launched the website of the Centre for Innovation and Incubation of the university.
Addressing the gathering, the Union Education Minister said that there should be competitive spirit among the universities so that they can progress further. Emphasizing autonomy for the universities, the minister said any sort of limitation imposed on them will prevent their intellectual potential from flowering forth. Contextually, he appealed to the government of Odisha to revisit the Odisha Universities Amendment Act. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal today said India can emerge as the largest diamond trading hub in the world. In a video message during the inauguration ceremony of Gems and Jewellery Manufacturing Show 2021, organized by the Surat Jewellery Manufacturing Association, Mr. Goyal said the government has declared the gems and jewellery sector as a focus area for export promotion.
The National Organ Donation Day is being observed today. Speaking on the occasion, Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia stressed the need for generating comprehensive public awareness for organ donation in the country. The minister was addressing the 12th Indian Organ Donation Day organized by the National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization in New Delhi today.
देश में काम बहुत गति से आगे बढ़ सकता है क्योंकि ये हमारी मूलतः भावना से सुसंगत है, हमारा कल्चर से सुसंगत है, हमारी सामाजिक व्यवस्था से सुसंगत है। हमारे यहाँ दूसरे को मदद करना ये हमारा स्वभाव में होता है और इस तरह से ऑर्गन डोनेशन में अभी जो जिस परिवार ने अपने फैमिली के कोई मेंबर गवाए हैं लेकिन भी उन्होंने अपना हौसला बुलंद रख के ऑर्गन डोनेट करने का फैसला लिया जिसको हमने प्रोत्साहित किया।
Delhi's Department of Environment and Forests has issued an order banning entry of trucks in the national capital except those carrying essential commodities from today till the 30th of November. However, CNG and electric trucks carrying non-essential commodities have been allowed to enter Delhi. The air quality in the national capital is presently in the severe category.
In Jammu and Kashmir, security forces have arrested 2 terrorist associates linked with Hizbul Mujahideen terror outfit in Pulwama district and recovered incriminating materials including ammunition from their possession. National Cadet Corps will celebrate its 73rd anniversary of its raising tomorrow. On the eve of its celebration, Director General of NCC, Lieutenant General Gurbir Pal Singh, laid wreath and paid homage to the fallen heroes on behalf of the entire NCC fraternity at the National War Memorial in New Delhi today. The NCC Raising Day is also being celebrated all over the country with cadets participating in marches, blood donation camps and social development programs.
On the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of the Bangladesh Liberation War, the News Services Division of All India Radio will bring a special program, Operation Searchlight, The Untold Story, in Spotlight. The special program can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
The Navy gives me adventure in every venture.
The Navy gives me the chance to discover capabilities I never knew I had.
The Navy gives me a package complete with the country's respect and recognition.
The Navy gives you more. Indian Navy, an ocean of opportunities. www.joinindiannavy.gov.in.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To mark the occasion, All India Radio News brings to its listeners our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter and first Speaker of Lok Sabha, Ganesh Mavalankar, who was born on 27th of November 1888. As Speaker of the first Lok Sabha of a newborn nation, Mavalankar's role was not merely that of a moderator and facilitator of its proceedings, but of a statesman and a founding father invested with the responsibility to establish rules, procedures, conventions and customs that suited the ethos of India.
Born in Baroda, Gujarat, Mavalankar was a lawyer by profession and also took keen interest in social work, which brought him in contact with eminent national leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Mahatma Gandhi. He played an active role in the freedom movement in Gujarat and was imprisoned several times and spent nearly 6 years in jail.
Mavalankar dedicated himself to the affairs of Ahmedabad municipality for nearly 2 decades and was elected to the then Bombay Legislative Assembly representing the city of Ahmedabad in 1937. He was elected to preside over the Central Legislative Assembly in 1946.
Mavalankar was elected to the office of Speaker of the Constituent Assembly Legislative on the 17th of November 1947. And with the adoption of the Constitution of Free India on the 26th of November 1949, Mavalankar became the Speaker of the Provisional Parliament and continued to occupy the office of the Speaker till the first Lok Sabha was constituted in 1952. During this time, Mavalankar ensured that all the rules, practices, procedures and conventions necessary for the smooth functioning of a representative parliament in the country were put in place before the elections to the first Lok Sabha were completed in the country in 1951-52. No one was therefore surprised when Mavalankar was chosen as the Speaker of the first Lok Sabha of independent India on 15th of May 1952. During his tenure as the Speaker of Lok Sabha, Mavalankar introduced several new rules and procedures and also modified the existing ones to suit the new conditions. On his initiative, the question hour became a regular and meaningful feature of parliamentary sessions. Devices like short notice questions and half-an-hour discussions were introduced to make the government truly accountable to the Parliament. The discussion on President's address on a motion of thanks was started by him to ensure independence and supremacy of Parliament in the system of government. Mavalankar envisioned an independent Secretariat of Parliament directly under the control of the presiding officer. Mavalankar's speakership was cut short abruptly by his untimely death on the 27th of February 1956 in Ahmedabad. Through 5 decades of selfless service, Ganesh Vasudev Mavalankar has left a deep imprint of his personality on the office of the Speaker and on the Parliament of India. We salute this great Indian. Today, we also remember renowned Hindi poet Harivansh Rai Bachchan, who was born on 27th of November 1907.
Alag alag pathu batulate sab par main ye batulata hu राह पकड़ तू एक चला चल पा जाएगा मधुशाला.
Father of legendary actor Amitabh Bachchan, Harivansh Rai grew up during a time when India was striving for its freedom against British imperialism and was influenced by the Gandhian philosophy of non-violence. Let us remember him through his poem Azadi Ke Geet, dedicated to India's independence on 15th of August 1947.
हम ऐसे आजाद हमारा झंडा है बादल, चांदी सोने हीरे मोती से सस्ती गुड़ियां, इनसे आतंकित करने की बीत गई घड़ियां, इनसे सज-धज बैठा करते जो हैं कठपुतले, हमने तोड़ अभी फेंकी हैं बेड़ी हथकड़ियां, परंपरागत पुरखों की हमने जागृत की फिर से, उठा शीश पर रखा हमने हिम किरीट उज्ज्वल, हम ऐसे आजाद हमारा झंडा है बादल.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News also brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
With just a day to go for the curtains to be drawn on the cinematic festivities of the 52nd International Film Festival of India, IFFI in Goa, a wide array of films, documentaries, masterclasses and in-conversation sessions were held on the penultimate day. We have a report.
Winner of the inaugural Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award, Martin Scorsese's evergreen classic Taxi Driver shone through the list of screenings for today. The movie, which portrays the troubled life of a war veteran trying to come to terms to life in the city, is one of Scorsese's most popular works. Scintillating performances by Robert De Niro and Jodie Foster makes the movie a crowd puller for cine enthusiasts. Russian movie The Sun Above Me Never Set was also screened today. Films from the BRICS countries are in focus in this year's IFFI. The film by director Lyubov Borisova tells the story of a young Altan who arrives at an isolated island in the Arctic. His solitude there is interrupted by the arrival of an old man, Baybal, as the plot thickens. Coming in the backdrop of the recently concluded COP26 conference, makers of the Bangla movie Payer Tole Mati Noi, or No Ground Beneath the Feet, spoke to the media today. Producer Abu Shahed Emon passionately spoke about how the movie portrays the catastrophic effect of climate change on the poor in Bangladesh. The movie, directed by Mohammad Rabi Mrida, is in contention for the Golden Peacock in the international competitions section. The day will close with the screening of the homage to veteran actor Dilip Kumar. The movie Devdas, directed by Bimal Roy, will be screened. Pavan for IFFI Desk, Goa.
Union Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur today said the government will provide training to budding sportspersons of rural areas so that they can represent the country in various competitions. Mr. Thakur was speaking at the Sansad Khel Spardha function in Bagpat district of Uttar Pradesh today.
ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में हुनर को ढूंढने भी आएंगे। ऐसी आयोजनों से देखेंगे कौन अच्छा खेलता है, उनको चुना जाएगा, परखा जाएगा, निखारा जाएगा और उनको तराश कर हीरा बनने के लायक बनाया जाएगा ताकि हिंदुस्तान का नाम रोशन करे। भविष्य के रवि भैया ऐसे ही दंगल से निकल कर आएंगे, इस बात का विश्वास भी मुझे पूरा है।
The International Cricket Council today announced that the ongoing Women's World Cup Qualifier 2021 at Harare in Zimbabwe has been called off due to the imposition of travel restrictions from a number of African countries, including the host country Zimbabwe, following the breakout of a new COVID-19 variant in southern Africa. The qualifiers will now be decided according to the team rankings as detailed in the tournament playing conditions. In cricket, India were 14 for the loss of 1 wicket against New Zealand at the draw of stumps in their second innings on day 3 in the first test match at Kanpur. Earlier, the visitors were all out for 296 in their first innings, giving India 49 runs lead. New Zealand resumed their first innings from the overnight score of 129 for no loss against India this morning on day 3. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have moderate fog. Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata will have cloudy sky. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Jammu, minimum temperature will be 9 degrees Celsius, maximum around 25. Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad are likely to have a partly cloudy sky in the northeast. Guwahati, Impal, Shillong and Aizawl will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stresses on need to review plans for easing of international travel restrictions amid emergence of new COVID variant Omicron. Take stock of coronavirus situation and vaccination progress in the country. People need to be more cautious and take proper precautions like masking and social distancing, advises Prime Minister. World Health Organization appeals to countries in Southeast Asia region to step up surveillance and enhance vaccination coverage as new variant surfaces. Over 121 crore doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Winter session of Parliament to begin from Monday. Bill to repeal 3 farm laws to be tabled in Parliament on first day. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar appeals to farmers to end agitation. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow.
President Ramnath Kovind calls upon judges to exercise utmost discretion in courtroom. Remarks. In cricket, ICC Women's World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe called off due to concerns over new COVID variant. And in Kanpur Test, New Zealand bowled out for 296 runs in first innings on day 3, giving India a 49-run lead. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.